Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about attachment styles again. And the reason why is because it's so important to be educated on this and to fully understand what is going on, especially when you are going through it. And as you guys know, my biggest mission is to ease your anxiety. That's like the most important thing because that's very important for your mental health and for you to feel more comfortable and relaxed during this process. And this is why I love to talk about anxiety, about anxious attachment style. Now, a majority of my clients are anxiously attached. That doesn't mean that I didn't have avoidant clients or secure clients. Absolutely, it does happen, just like the majority of them will be anxiously attached. And the majority of the targets will be avoidance. Well, maybe not majority, but yeah, majority. Some of them will be secure, however, but majority will be avoidance. So, let's talk a bit about, let's start with avoidant attachment style because we talk so much about the anxious one, and we're going to talk about that one today as well. However, I think it's very important to understand the avoidant one because that's what majority of your loved ones have. So, um, both of these attachment styles, both anxious and avoidant, are coming from fear. So they have a lot in common, believe it or not. The basis is the same basically, but the reaction will be different. How people react to that fear will be different. So that's mostly the only difference, but we're gonna deep dive into this. And then the secure attachment style is the one that doesn't come from fear. It's the one that comes from validation, your own validation, self love, and just no fears around it. Okay, so let's talk about avoidant first. So, as you guys know, some people react to fear or loss. Um, but basically fear of loss by holding on tighter, the anxious ones, right? But others will react with pulling away. And this is basically what we call avoidant attachment style. It is a defense mechanism or a defensive strategy where intimacy is perceived as a threat. And I'm sure a lot of you know that and have seen that with your targets. And it's very important to kind of realize when you're dealing with an avoidant partner or ex, because a lot of clients will not recognize it until we have a little discussion about it and I can kind of see what's going on or do a tarot reading. They will simply think their person is not interested or the person has, they'll be confused why they have left or, whatever has happened. Basically, a lot of people will not even recognize it. So this is why we're doing this audio. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, so basically they see intimacy or love or relationship commitment as a threat to their safety and their independence and their freedom. Why does it happen? So avoidant attachment is a learned survival mechanism, and usually it comes from the childhood, as everything does. So here are a few reasons where it comes from. A few of them are suppressed emotions. So a person may have grown up in an environment where, their emotions or their emotional needs, should I say, were ignored or discouraged or, made fun of. And they learned early on that depending on others leads to, disappointment, pain, hurt, and loss. So they have decided to only depend on themselves. It's avoidants are very independent usually as well. So their independence is, not actually, like that. People would all love to be independent, obviously, and that's great quality, but they use it as a shield. So to them, basically, that's a necessity. It's something that is a must, and they they kind of see love and commitment and intimacy. You know, when I say intimacy, I don't necessarily mean sexual intimacy, but like just like being open with somebody and vulnerable and things like that. They see it as a loss of freedom, or and they're kind of begin to get like suffocated with someone else's needs, and they just can't handle it basically. So, what I see very often in my practice is that when a relationship gets too close, or starts getting serious, that's why you may not recognize it, because it will not be triggered up until that point. So you will tell me everything was perfect, everything was great, and then all of a sudden, when we were supposed to like move in together, or when things have been getting more serious, all of a sudden they have just pulled away, and you're confused. But that's the thing. When things they love relation. I mean, connections. Obviously, everybody loves that. And the thing with avoidance is that they prefer to keep it, light. They prefer to keep it casual because of this fear that gets triggered. So when a relationship gets, serious, their internal alarm goes off. So, to lower that anxiety, they kind of try to deactivate their feelings. And that's their way of like trying to escape, get away, just like make themselves protected. If they don't have feelings, strong feelings, they feel safe. So that's something that is often called, oh, I forgot the term in English. I'm sorry, it's my second language. Sometimes I forget. Emotionally unavailable. I can't believe I forgot that. Emotionally unavailable. So that is usually a choice for vast majority of people, and that is when they're trying to avoid their emotions. It's not that they can't have them or don't have them, and it's a common thing that is kind of defined wrongly. So they deactivate their feelings by becoming distant. So when you tell me they're pulling away, something's off, something's wrong, they're not returning my calls, all of that, focusing on flaws as well, and just like going into silence, basically, ghosting, leaving you on red, things like that, blocking even. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now, in energy work, which is what I do, because spell work is basically energy work. So, an avoidant person has this rigid aura, and while an anxious person's energy reaches out to grab, right? It tries to like, it's needy. It's like chasing. The avoidant energy, it kind of retracts, sorry, into like a shell. And this isn't because they don't feel. That's very important to say, because very often I will hear from you guys, they don't love me, they don't have feelings for me, and then you will get even like offended by their actions, or just like hurt by their actions. You're going to take it very personally, and you're going to think they don't have feelings. And that is something that is often not going to be true. Okay. The problem here is actually that they feel too much. They're usually very emotional. So you have to know this about them. They're very emotional. They just don't want to be. And, they don't have the tools to process those emotions. So they can't process that strong emotions, and they can't process the intensity of the connection, right? Without just feeling overwhelmed and burning out. They can't do it. That's the thing. That's the problem. It doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. Usually, if somebody pulls away, I mean, not always, obviously. If it's like some sort of a maybe a situationship or something, they might pull away because they're no longer interested because they found someone else. It's not always this, okay? But usually in majority of the cases, if there's a strong connection between the two of you and you just know there is, you intuitively know there is, and you're feeling confused, usually they will have strong emotions, and you'll be surprised by that. So how can an avoidant heal their attachment style? So they need to learn that opening up doesn't mean that they're gonna lose their freedom, or that something bad is gonna happen, that they're gonna lose the person that love is um, that love is something that only hurts. And another very important thing is regulating the nervous system. So this is what we achieve through reprogramming, and also with skull spells, we can do some of that as well. So basically, it means that recognizing the urge to run is only a shadow from the past, because this is very important, guys. It's the same with anxious, by the way, but we're going to do a separate audio, I think, because I'm talking way too much and I can't put them all in one. I thought that was going to be shorter, but anyways, or faster, should I say. Anyways, where was I? When they get triggered, that urge to run and pull away, it's not about you really, and everybody takes it personally. It's because I did this, it's because I did that, it's because I'm not good enough. An anxious person will overthink it a million times. They like somebody else better, all of that stuff. But it's just a shadow from the past. It's not a reflection of the present partner. Absolutely not. It's because in the past, in their childhood or in their other relationships, somebody really hurt them, and they just kind of recognize the danger of developing emotions, and that's it. It's not about you. Okay. And then a very important step in healing is building trust, understanding that strength lies in ability to both give and receive support. Because of that toxic independence, let's call it toxic independence, I think that's a thing. Just learning that they can depend on other people sometimes for some things, and that is okay, and that's actually how life is supposed to be. You shouldn't be going through it by yourself or alone, and that's the beauty of it, right? The community, the love. So when they are distancing, this is very important. When they are distancing, it's not lack of feelings or love. It is fear. It is fear of, getting hurt. That's what it is. It doesn't mean that that you did something wrong. It doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. It's a whole different thing, and you need to understand this. This will also ease your guys' anxiety. Hopefully, this audio, because your mind, when you're anxious, it just goes into overthinking about things, and this is actually how it is. So, I hope this was helpful. We're gonna do separate audio for anxious and secure, probably, and you can listen to whatever resonates with your situation.